Selkirk Pro S1. Is this the ball we've all been waiting for? And is it going to take the spot of Franklin's or Dura's? Well, I'm going to give you my initial thoughts and what I think of this ball so far. I've been able to play test it for a few nights, and I am so far very pleased with its performance. I think it is going to be possibly a Franklin killer. Now, there are a couple of question marks that we don't know yet, and one of the big factors is going to be price. Franklins are not the cheapest balls on the market, but you can find sales of those quite frequently, and that makes a big difference in using that ball. Also, Franklins are very consistent. When you buy a box of those or a pack, you know exactly what you're getting, and for the most part, they all play very similar, and they do tend to stay round compared to most other pickleballs. So I do like that about Franklin's. Obviously, they are the softest ball, and everybody calls them marshmallows because they become too soft, but I have other opinions on why I think that is actually good for players 3-5 or lower. I will share those another time. So I just want to get into why I think this ball may be a Franklin replacement, and it really just hinges on price point. What I think about pickleballs in general is we haven't had a new pickleball come out in a while, or one that has been possibly a game changer, and this one may be that. And I think there's only a few companies that can probably pull this off, and Selkirk and Yola are probably the only two. I mean, the amount of money and time that you would have to spend to figure out what makes a ball good is probably a lot more money than most brands can afford to spend, and Selkirk is one that can pull it off. So I'm really happy to see they came out with a ball that is probably going to replace the Franklins. And the reason I say that is because you can tell they have really spent time on this ball. If you look at the hole size, they are fairly consistent, except for there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 holes that are actually smaller than the rest of them, and I bet that has something to do with its spin potential and aerodynamics and what makes a good pickleball. And a few other factors that I think go into making a good pickleball is going to be the hole location, the size of the holes, whether it is a 2-piece or 1-piece mold, the density of the plastic, the weight of the plastic, and then how thick the plastic should actually be. So those are some of the factors that would obviously make a good pickleball. And if you're not a big enough company, it's going to be really hard to figure out what the exact science is behind making a good ball. And so far, I was very much pleased. I played with this ball. We got about 15 games on it. It was still round and it wasn't soft. So I think those are the two big things. It plays harder than Franklin's, but not near as hard as Dura's, and I like that a lot for most players. So that's why I think this could be a Franklin killer, and I wouldn't be surprised if they came out with a Pro S2 that is harder and is meant to go after Dura's, because like I said, them and Yola are probably the only companies that are going to be able to spend enough money and time and research into figuring out what is actually going to make a good pickleball. So I'm very happy to see this hit the market. I can't wait for everybody to try it. And if you have gotten your hands on one and you've tried one, please comment. Let me know what you guys think. I think it's going to be impressive. Like I said, there are a few things we don't know yet, and that is price, exactly when they're going to be available, and then consistency is going to be a big one, and that test is going to be just how many people playing with it and seeing if this can explode. But my initial thought so far is it's a good ball. I mean, people are going to like it, and it may absolutely kill the Franklin. And before I go, I want to ask one last question, and do you guys think we'll have an official pickleball in the near future? And before I play test this ball, I didn't think any company had spent enough time or money in developing a good ball that could represent the entire market. And now that Selkirk is obviously spending a lot of time to develop a ball that could possibly replace Franklin's as the number one seller, I do wonder if we'll see an official ball. And I think that will be a good thing overall. We'll see a lot of consistency in the play, and also it will move the game forward. So, like other sports I have played, such as volleyball, we had an official ball for outdoors, and that ball changed over the last 10, 15 years that I have played, and it has changed about every 3 to 4 years. So it's not like if they chose one, it would have to be that ball forever, but what it would do is set the bar and let other companies know what they're going to have to beat in order to compete in the market. And I think that is a good thing, because we've had a lot of trash come out on the market, and it's so cheap to make these things. We're all sick of playing with cheap balls that warp, get knots, crack on us, and we can't get a lot of games out of them. And we're just spending a lot of money on these plastic balls that aren't holding up as long as I think they could. So hopefully, to me, an official ball may be a big step forward. But just let me know what you guys think. I'm curious what other people think, and hopefully I will catch you in the next one.